gentlemen, welcome to the Conference on Taiwan's External and Internal Policy Environments in 2015, co-organized by Brookings Institution, Center for East Asia's Policy Studies, the Taipei Forum, and the Association of Foreign Relations. Please welcome Dr. Chairman Su Qi to address on behalf of the Taipei Forum. Chairman Su, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Minister David Lin, Chairman Francisco Ho, and Dr. Richard Bush, my good friend, and Chairman Morris Zhang, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Taipei Forum, one of the three sponsors of this conference, I'd like to extend my warmest welcome to all the participants present here today. My hat tips especially for those who travel from abroad to come to join us. In September 2013, last year, Madame Hu, also known as Cecilia Zhuoyun Yan, who we call her Gu Mama, generously endowed a chair in the Brookings Institution in the name of her late husband, Gu Zhenfu Dongshizang, Chairman Gu, and herself to promote Taiwan studies. It was fitting and proper that the first chair went to Dr. Richard Bush, a world-renowned scholar and former official of the U.S. government. Since both Madame Gu and Dr. Bush are board members of the Taipei Forum, so we decided at the time to establish a U.S.-Taiwan policy forum to facilitate cooperation between our two think tanks. Last year, we were honored to have former Vice President Vincent Hsu, Xiao Fudongkou, to deliver a keynote speech at the first party policy forum. The conference today is the second event of the U.S.-Taiwan Policy Forum, and I'm particularly privileged that the Association of Foreign Relations, headed by my good friend, former Foreign Minister Francisco Ho, is gracious enough to join us as a co-sponsor and help make this event a success. I'm also pleased that so many distinguished scholars and opinion leaders from other countries and cities are here with us today. They are from the United States, Japan, Korea, and Hong Kong, and there are also quite a few scholars from China. As for Taiwan participants, as some of you could tell, they span across the party lines. So in a significant way, this conference happens to mark for the first time the coexistence of what I call the big triangle, which is US, China, and Taiwan, and the small triangle, the blue, red, and green. And I certainly hope that the brainstorming that's about to take place soon will make some contribution to peace and stability in the region. So lastly, I'd like to wish all of the participants here today good health and continued success in your pursuit. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Su. Now, please welcome Chairman and Ambassador Francisco O to speak on behalf of the Association of Foreign Relations. Chairman O, please.
His Excellency Minister David Lin, Dr. Richard Bush, Dr. Su Qi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for coming to today's conference, I want to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Dr. Richard Bush and Dr. Suu Kyi for co-organizing this meaningful conference. I also want to convey my same gratitude to Minister Lin for his acceptance of our invitation to address the keynote speech later today, and his continued support for Association of Foreign Relations program, including today's conference with partial sponsorship from MOFA. AFR is a new organization aiming to promote internal and cross-strait relations and to enhance the understanding of international affairs in Taiwan at a grassroots level. Organizing academic conferences like this certainly helps us at AFR realize our objectives. Like most of the people in Taiwan, Republic of China, who feel urgent for not being left behind in the negotiations of many multilateral and bilateral economic cooperation agreements in the region. We believe Taiwan ranked the 20th largest exporter and 18th largest importer last year is facing with both challenges and opportunities that have been rarely seen before. In addition to delicate and vital policies for Taiwan economic interaction with China and with the rest of major trading partners, improve democratic governance and viable political institutions of Taiwan will play an important role in assisting Taiwan to meet those challenges and take advantage of those opportunities in such a rapidly changing game of economic cooperation. And it goes without saying that the future development of the cross-strait relations will greatly affect Taiwan and regional security in East Asia. Despite the ice-breaking development of such relations after May 2008, for Taiwan, there are still a lot to do to consolidate peaceful and stable relations with mainland China while strengthening national security efficiently and consistently. I hope today's conference will come up with quite a few findings and suggestions useful for the orientation of Taiwan's mainland policy. Thank you again for joining us today. Now I will give the floor to Dr. Bush. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Please welcome Dr. and Director Richard Bush to speak on behalf of Center for East Asia Policy Studies, a Brookings institution.
Minister David Lin, Chairman Morris John, Chairman Suu Kyi, Chairman Francisco O, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good morning.
Good morning.
On behalf of my colleagues at the Brookings Institution, both those who are with me today and those back in Washington, it gives me great pleasure to greet you here today and to express our deep gratitude for this opportunity to participate in this conference, the domestic and external policy environment. I'm deeply grateful to my co-sponsors, the Taipei Foreign Forum Foundation, led by Dr. Suu Kyi, and the Association for Foreign Affairs,
led by my good friend Dr. Hong Kuei-Bo. They and their staffs have really made today's event possible. Our conference comes at an important point in the history of East Asia and in the course of U.S.-East Asian relations. I think we've assembled a really sparkling array of talent to talk about the issues on today's agenda. I know that I will learn a lot. I'm sure that you will learn a lot as well. So with that, I think we should get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Bush. The Center for East Asia Policy Studies, the Taipei Forum, and the Association of Foreign Relations are honored to have Minister Deputy of Foreign Affairs, Republic of China, to deliver the keynote speech on Bible diplomacy. Chairman O, please come up to the stage and present Minister Lin to all of us today at the conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to introduce to you Minister David Lin, an outstanding colleague of mine who has had almost 40-year experience in diplomacy to portray Taiwan's external policy environment in the near future. Mr. Lin earned a couple of degrees from National Cheng University and Georgetown University, respectively. During his diplomatic career, he was successfully managed the Republic of China's diplomatic affairs in such regions as Africa, the Caribbean, the United States, Southeast Asia, and Europe. In addition, he was in charge of European affairs and international organization separately at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So far, I haven't been able to find any other incumbent official like him who can have this kind of thorough, grasp-up, and practical experience in Taiwan's foreign policies. I know all of you have been expecting Mr. Lin for long. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Mr. Lin of Foreign Affairs to deliver his keynote speech on viable diplomacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Richard Bush, Director of the Center for East Asia Policy Studies, Brookings Institution, His Excellency Ambassador Francisco O, Chairman of the Association of Foreign Relations, Dr. Su Qi, Chairman of the Taipei Foreign Foundation, Excellencies, Ambassadors, and Honorable Representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to join you all today at this important conference. On behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of China, Taiwan, I would like to extend my warm greetings to all speakers, panelists, and participants from home and abroad, gathered here to discuss Taiwan's domestic and external policy environment in 2015. Today, I'm particularly delighted to share my observations on the progress and prospects of our viable diplomacy, which was launched in 2008 and remains the principal guideline for our foreign policy. First of all, let's look back at cross-strait relations before 2008. Since 1949, the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, the ROC and the PRC, had both adopted a zero-sum and more confrontational approach against each other in the international arena. In short, before 2008, Taiwan and mainland China were involved in a negative cycle in which each side competed to win over the other's diplomatic partners. This resulted in the squandering of a great deal of resources for both sides. Meanwhile, in the past 6 decades, Taiwan's domestic, political, economic, and social transformations have indeed led to new challenges for and impetus for our foreign policy. When President Ma Ying-jeou took office in May 2008, he realized that cross-strait deadlock and the 60-year vicious cycle in diplomatic confrontation needed to be broken with Taiwan's economic prosperity, sustainable development, and national security, as well as regional stability in Asia Pacific, were to be ensured. To this end, President Ma has developed a new strategy and striven to maintain the status quo in the Taiwan Strait based on the concept of no unification, no independence, and no use of force. Moreover, 2 important principles in our interaction with mainland China are mutual non-recognition of sovereignty and mutual non-denial of governing authority, which have allowed substantive relations to move forward. President Ma has also reaffirmed the 1992 consensus of One China respective interpretations as the cornerstone of cross-strait negotiations, which has proven crucial to the peaceful development of cross-strait ties and provided the foundation for our viable diplomacy over the past 6 years. Dr. Suu Kyi actually is also a key person in the 1992 consensus. As you are aware, cross-strait reconciliation is at the heart of our viable diplomacy. We are convinced that Taiwan and mainland China should share disputes, build mutual trust and understanding, and start wasting resources trying to win over each other's diplomatic partners. Moreover, improvements in cross-strait relations have already proved beneficial to regional peace and stability, as well as to Taiwan's overall external relations, including our meaningful participation in the activities and conferences of many IGOs and NGOs. Since 2008, we have made significant progress by implementing viable diplomacy based on pragmatism and flexibility. This has allowed for the rational and effective use of Taiwan's diplomatic resources. Today, viable diplomacy has won the support of the people of Taiwan, as well as widespread recognition in the international community. I will now briefly outline our progress today through viable diplomacy. First of all, consolidating ties with our diplomatic partners is still our top priority. In the past 6 years, we have maintained stable and constructive relations with our diplomatic partners. Mutual exchanges and cooperation have been intensified, and mutual visits by high-ranking officials are frequent. For instance, President Ma has already made 10 overseas trips covering all our diplomatic partners. He is the first ROC president to have visited Haiti, and last year he visited the Holy See to attend the inauguration of His Holiness Pope Francis. More importantly, we have consolidated and expanded substantive cooperation with our diplomatic partners in a wide range of areas, including technical cooperation, medical service, public health, clean energy, and vocational training. In return, we are grateful that our diplomatic partners have offered us greater support in the international arena. Secondly, strengthening substantive relations with friendly countries such as the United States, Japan, the European Union, and our trading partners in Asia is a major goal. The United States is Taiwan's third largest trading partner and remains our most important source of technology. Over the last 6 years, we have adhered to a low-key, surprise-free policy toward relations with the U.S. As a result, mutual trust has been restored, and we enjoy extensive and stable cooperation in a wide range of areas. Examples of these improved relations include Taiwan's inclusion in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program, VWP, in 2012, and the restarting of trade talks under the 1994 Trade and Investment Framework Agreement, TIFA, in 2013. I'm convinced that TIFA talks will lead to greater trade and investment cooperation, strengthen business ties with our U.S. partners, and pave the way for a bilateral investment agreement, BIA, as well as our accession to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP. These are our major priorities. We have noted that the United States has welcomed our interest in joining the TPP. We deeply appreciate that. In addition to close economic cooperation, the United States and Taiwan have shared interests in maintaining peace, stability, and security in the Asia-Pacific region. Since 2008, U.S. administrations have approved 3 arms sales packages for Taiwan, valued at over $18 billion. As former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton mentioned in 2011, and I quote, "Taiwan is an important economic and security partner." We welcome the United States' renewed focus on Asia under its rebalancing policy and look forward to its positive impact on peace and stability in our region, as well as our regional economic integration. In April this year, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy came to Taiwan to witness the joint establishment of the International Environmental Partnership. This was the first visit to Taiwan by a U.S. cabinet-level official in 14 years. In addition, there are also numerous exchanges of visits by ranking officials between Taiwan and the United States, showing enhanced cooperation in economy and trade, security, and other areas. Taiwan and Japan are neighbors with significant historical trade and investment ties. Japan is Taiwan's second largest trading partner and one of its biggest sources of foreign investment. In 2013, mutual visits topped 3.7 million and are expected to exceed 4 million this year. This will be an important landmark. Since President Ma took office, we have concluded 17 agreements with Japan, covering such areas as bilateral investment, civil aviation, product accreditation, culture, working holidays, and a new office in Sapporo. In particular, the signing of the Taiwan-Japan fishery agreement in April 2013 last year was a new milestone, putting an end to more than 40 years of fishing disputes. Looking ahead, we will continue to push for the signing of an economic partnership agreement, EPA, and a double taxation agreement, DTA, with Japan. Nowadays, the European Union is one of the most important political and economic blocs in the world. Despite the geographic distance, the Taiwan-EU economic partnership is well established. As the EU is Taiwan's 4th largest trading partner and its largest source of foreign direct investment, FDI. Since 2008, the EU Commission and the European Parliament have issued or adopted 25 statements and resolutions supporting the improvement of cross-strait relations, Taiwan's international participation, and an enhanced trade relationship between Taiwan and the European Union. In addition, the European Union's decision to grant visa waivers for the Schengen area to ROC passport holders in January 2011 was an important breakthrough. Meanwhile, Taiwan-EU cooperation in many areas such as nuclear safety, culture and education, counter-piracy, scientific research, clean energy, and environmental protection continues to intensify and has produced concrete results. Annual consultations have been held to facilitate and enhance cooperation on issues of mutual interest. Over the past few years, with our government's efforts to diversify our export markets, Taiwan has developed stronger economic ties with our neighboring countries in Southeast Asia. Trade between Taiwan and ASEAN nations amounted to $91 billion in 2013. We enjoy close economic relations and intensive exchanges in the agriculture, scientific, and educational sectors with both ASEAN member states. At the same time, we have been pursuing even closer economic cooperation and exploring the possibility of signing free trade agreement with our major trading partners in Asia in order to further strengthen the bonds of partnership. Moreover, the past 6 months have seen major elections in Indonesia and India. New Indonesian President Joko Widodo, or Jokowi, has called for closer economic ties, more tourist exchanges, and continued cooperation with Taiwan. And as an important emerging market, India has been attracting a great deal of interest from Taiwan investors. India's new Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, is pro-business and has welcomed a closer economic partnership with Taiwan. Therefore, we look forward to finding new ways to build on our relationship with Indonesia and India in the future. Thirdly, expanding Taiwan's international space is always high on our agenda. In recent years, we have made substantial progress in terms of our international participation. Since our accession to the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC Forum in 1991, Taiwan has been a proactive member and has made substantial contributions to APEC projects and activities. In addition, we have taken part in the World Health Assembly as an observer for 6 years in a row. And we were invited to attend the 38th session of the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO Assembly in September last year. As for the World Trade Organization WTO, which Taiwan has been a member for 12 years, we took a major step forward in December 2008 when we acceded to the WTO Agreement on Government Procurement, GPA, becoming the 41st signatory to the accord. We are now engaged in negotiations to become a party to the Trade in Services Agreement, TISA, and remain firmly committed to the global trading system under the WTO framework. Taiwan now is a member or observer in 57 IGOs, mostly in trade, economy, agriculture, fisheries, banking, and other specialized areas. In order to make more contributions and to fulfill our role as a responsible stakeholder in the international community, Taiwan remains committed to joining more professional and functional international organizations in the future. Fourthly, promoting regional peace and stability is of vital importance as part of our viable diplomacy. Taiwan has shown the world that it is a responsible stakeholder in peacemaking, particularly as concerns the East China Sea. In August 2012, President Ma proposed the East China Sea Peace Initiative, urging that consultation replace confrontation regarding competing sovereignty claims over the Diaoyutai Islands, and that parties concerned formulate a code of conduct for the region and pursue the joint development of natural resources in a peaceful manner. In line with the principles put forward in the East China Sea Peace Initiative, Taiwan resumed talks with Japan in November 2012 on a fishery agreement and reached a long-delayed breakthrough. Setting aside disputes and agreeing to share resources, the two sides signed a fishery agreement in April last year. In a sign of the importance the word places on this agreement, the UK-based Financial Times commended the fishery agreement as a proven model for resolving controversies and sharing resources. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Australian Minister of Defense David Johnston have both gone on record saying that the agreement contributes to regional peace and stability. Another peacemaking achievement can be observed in the resolution of maritime disputes in the South China Sea between Taiwan and the Philippines. In May 2013, Taiwan fishing boat Wadaxin No. 28 was fired upon by a Philippine government vessel in the overlapping exclusive economic zones EEZ of Taiwan and the Philippines, resulting in the death of a crew member and severe damage to the fishing boat. Following this incident, we held several rounds of negotiations with the Philippines, which concluded with Manila making a formal apology, providing compensation, and indicting the perpetrators. In addition, the two sides reached a 3-point of consensus regarding how to conduct law enforcement actions at sea in order to ensure the safety of fishing operations. So not only has justice been served, a 30-year dispute over maritime law enforcement has been peacefully settled. In fact, these achievements can serve as a working model for all parties concerned to resolve their dispute in a peaceful manner. But now I will turn to future prospects of our viable diplomacy. Judging from the foregoing, it is obvious that the conduct of our viable diplomacy, coupled with the ongoing process of cross-strait rapprochement, has opened up more opportunities for Taiwan's external relations. Taiwan should and will continue to play a proactive role in the international community as a responsible stakeholder, a peacemaker in the region, and a provider of humanitarian aid to countries and people in need. We will also work on the following priorities in the future. First, promoting the East China Sea Peace Initiative to facilitate regional peace and stability. Over the past 2 years, the ideas and standpoint embodied in the East China Sea Peace Initiative, as well as the concrete result it has produced, have received a broad international recognition. As a result, President Ma received the Eisenhower Medallion from the internationally renowned NGO People to People International in September this year for his contributions to peace and stability in East Asia. In light of the principles of the initiative, we will continue to call on all parties concerned to resolve disputes in the East China Sea and South China Sea peacefully through dialogue and consultation, and thus ensure stability and prosperity across the region. Second, proactive participation in regional economic integration to further enhance our economic development. Taiwan's active participation in regional economic integration has been prioritized under viable diplomacy. To facilitate further trade liberalization and increase Taiwan's competitiveness, we have striven to gain access to the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP. In the meantime, our government has been exploring bilateral free trade agreement (FTAs) and economic cooperation agreement (ECAs) by promoting contacts with a number of our countries in the region. Moreover, Taiwan has made great strides vis-à-vis economic relations with other countries since 2008, having signed several economic cooperation agreements. Taiwan and Japan, for example, inked a bilateral investment agreement in September 2011, while Taiwan and the United States resumed the talks under TIFA in 2013. Also in 2013, Taiwan concluded economic cooperation agreements with New Zealand and Singapore, respectively. Feasibility studies on the signing of ECAs with India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand have been either completed or are underway. These are part of our incremental efforts to join the process of regional economic integration, which will add more momentum to our accession to the TPP eventually. Last week, Taiwan and the Philippines concluded the 20th round of ministerial meeting on economic cooperation in Taipei. The two sides agreed to proceed with further cooperation in several sectors, such as investment, trade, and energy. This may create a more favorable environment for Taiwan-Philippine negotiations in the near future on a possible ECA. Third, continue participation in international organizations to further expand our professional networks. Taiwan's official representatives and experts are today able to attend meetings of certain United Nations specialized agencies, such as WHO and ICAO. With our expertise in healthcare and civil aviation, we look forward to continue our active participation in more functional meetings and activities under the WHO and ICAO frameworks in order to make more contributions. This year, President Ma designated former Vice President Vincent Hsu as his representative to the upcoming APEC Leaders Meeting, AELM, in Beijing in November, to exchange views with leaders of other economies on how best to work toward regional economic integration, including FTA-AP, the FTA for Asia Pacific. Taiwan aims to work closely with all other member economies to help construct an environment conducive to greater economic prosperity for the entire region. Fourth, extending humanitarian aid as an integral part of our viable diplomacy. Furthermore, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also continues to support Taiwan's NGOs in their effort to participate in international humanitarian and disaster relief activities. In recent years, we have done everything we can to combine public and NGO resources to support overseas humanitarian aid programs. We have provided, for instance, rescue and relief assistance to Haiti, Japan, the Philippines, and several of our diplomatic partners following major natural disasters. In fact, government-NGO cooperation has become an important element of our viable diplomacy. Amidst the turmoil gripping the Middle East, our government and NGOs have been working closely with international organizations to provide humanitarian aid to refugees and others suffering from the conflict. As to the Ebola epidemic, we have noted that recent official figures from WHO show that about 5,000 people have died and more than 10,000 have been affected. Taiwan is committed to donating 100,000 sets of personal protective equipment, PPE, to the areas in West Africa affected by the virus. In addition, Taiwan intends to donate $1 million and dispatch a team of medical experts to the region to provide necessary assistance. Last but not least, creating conditions for Taiwan's broader participation in world affairs. Today, 140 countries and territories grant ROC nationals visa waiver or landing visa treatment. The latest pending and Visa Restriction Index ranks the ROC passport as the world's 24th most useful. Taiwan's high ranking is a testament to recognition by the international community for our democracy, economic prosperity, and social development. In order to give Taiwan's young people a broader international perspective, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reached a working holiday arrangements with 11 countries, including Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Germany, Japan, Korea, and the UK. We are conducting negotiations with a few other countries on working holiday arrangement and looking forward to expanding the reach of this program in the near future. Now, conclusion. In closing, I would like to emphasize that the most important foreign policy assets we have are our full-fledged democracy and our strong commitment to fulfilling our obligations as a responsible member of the international community. The Republic of China, Taiwan will continue to implement viable diplomacy, abide by international law, safeguard the nation's sovereignty, and promote regional peace and stability through cooperation and consultation. We aim to be a peacemaker, provider of humanitarian aid, promoter of cultural exchange, creator of new technologies and business opportunities, and standard bearer of Chinese culture. We trust that Taiwan will continue to receive the support of the international community, especially from all our friends present on this very important occasion. So dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak with you. Please accept my best wishes for the success of this conference. I look forward to hearing all that you have to share. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause again to thank you, Minister Meng.